Stronger, not weaker, and this could be the foundation of everything if it leads to someone who has some issues, you know, something that would perhaps impact this jury in a way where the jury's like, well, what about this guy? I want to know more about him. Where was he that day? You know, why wasn't he interviewed by police, right? You can get into all of that. So let's listen to some more from the courtroom, because they're spending a lot of time on this early on in the buildup to the retrial of Alex Murdaugh. Let's take a look.
But they have a whole division.
So you need an expert's name or whoever has this sample to see if there's a viable sample that you can send.
Correct. And they can work with the extract that SLED used when they did their STR analysis. Okay. They can work with that out there. They told me. But
Mr. Waters, can you give him a name so he can move forward?
That's what I put in my motion, Your Honor, is please give us a name, and I'm happy to have SLED reach out and talk to them about what their...
Hold it right there for a second. It's so funny, right? Like, give them a name. Well, why don't they give us a name? You know, this is the way lawyers are. I'm a lawyer, I know. Like, you got to be, all right, well, give us the name of the guy to contact. No, you give us the name of the person you want us to contact, and I'll give it to my guy to contact your guy. Nothing is easy between these two sides in this case. Let's watch some more.
Proposals are and any procedures, and I'm then made privy to that information. I'm happy to discuss those with the defense. If for whatever reason we can't agree, we'll come back to the That's precisely what I put in my motion is let's talk to let the experts talk so that my experts can hear what it is that they propose to do. And I'm happy to do so.
And I gave him 3 names and contact information this morning, and I've asked a name that I can send back to my folks. I do want to address this red herring argument. The DNA that we're talking about, Your Honor, came from Maggie Murdaugh's left fingernails. That was tested by SLED with this STR analysis. The DNA sample number 70 that we're asking to be tested, it positively was not Alex Murdaugh's. Any of the other folks who they took buccal swabs from went through a long list, not them, except for one potential, and that potential, the ultimate result was it's 11 times more an unknown male, so they know it's a male, than it was this person. That's how they do things in their DNA analysis. And Mr. Waters said, well, there's no evidence of struggle, but there was a shell casing under Maggie Murdaugh's body from the gun that killed her. I mean, that shell casing and that gun had to be in very close proximity. Maggie Murdaugh's cell phone was missing from the crime scene. Was DNA transferred at that point in time? And so we don't think it's a red herring. We think it's very important. Now, it may turn out to be, innocuous. We don't know, but it's worth looking into.
Okay, I haven't said no. This is what I do want you to do, though, Mr. Griffin. I want to know how long it's going to take to analyze what it is that you're asking for. And even if I expedite it, I'd like to know how long it's going to take. And I'd also like to know if there's even a viable sample that they can get. And we will discuss this at our next pretrial. Anything, Mr. Waters, you're going to give them the name of the person at SLED that he can get in contact with. Let's see if there's a viable sample.
And the lab has told me if there's not a viable sample, we'll tell you that. But right. They work with a lot less than
okay.
SLED.
Well, let's start with that. Let's make sure we get a viable sample, and then we'll go forward, and we're going to go forward at the next pretrial. I promise you, the pretrial is not going to be that far away. All right.
Okay. You read into what Jim Griffin said there. Murdaugh's attorney. Her cell phone is taken. Shell casing under her body. The killer was there with her. Did that DNA transfer when he took the cell phone? Was it in her hand? How did all that take place? So you can see where they're going with all of this. And they're going to need another expert to try to recreate how that DNA could have been transferred. So again, the next trial, much, much different. There's more for the defense to work with. They'll clean up their mistakes, but the prosecution still has what they had in that first case. All right. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for this time. Until next time, I'm Vinnie Politan. In the meantime, folks, please don't forget